Chapter 46. Ancient, it was the girlfriend of Jordan, the son-in-law of the Xiao family. That woman used to be Mr. Chen's girlfriend, and now she is next to the Xiao family. She feels like a superior person, so she spat at Mr. Chen. Sonia said, "The Xiao family, you are really brave, I will call that Xiao Yan to ask now." Ji Wenchen frowned and slapped the table fiercely. He also knew why David sent a message to drive that Xiao Yan away. It turned out that there was such a festival with the Xiao family. And the people present also understood in an instant. This time they knew that the Xiao family was going to be unlucky. It seems that the business dealings with the Xiao family should be cut off quickly. Ancient, calm down, this kind of trivial matter, I can handle it myself. David smiled lightly, not paying attention at all. At this time, Jordan and Delia were like ants in his eyes. Outside the hotel, the poisonous sunlight made Jordan a little upset. "Brother Lei, drink some water." Delia handed Jordan a bottle of water. Jordan took a big gulp, rubbed the sweat on his forehead, and muttered softly, "I can't go in, what are you waiting for here? I'm really sick." Although he complained, Jordan did not dare to leave. He was really afraid that his father would cut off his pocket money for half a year. Just when Jordan was drinking water, he found that his father came out of the hotel. Jordan was overjoyed and hurriedly said, "My dad is out, we must be able to go in." Jordan and Delia hurriedly greeted him. "Dad, why did you come out? Can we go in now?" Jordan asked excitedly. "Go in the F.Art, I've been kicked out," Xiao Yan said angrily. Jordan was stunned for a moment, and then said, "Dad, what's going on? Why did you drive you out?" "How would I know?" Xiao Yan glared at Jordan angrily. "Don't be ashamed here, go back with me." He came in a hurry, and now he can only go back in despair. Jordan and Delia didn't even go in the door. The banquet has already started, and after about 2 hours, the banquet is coming to an end. Everyone's face is red and the conversation is very happy. "David, when did you meet Ji? And Ji was so polite to you. You are the protagonist of this banquet, and you didn't even tell me." Finally, Sonia seized the opportunity, pulled David aside, and asked very dissatisfied. "At that time, you took me away in a hurry, and you didn't say that you came to the banquet. I found out later, and I wanted to surprise you." David laughed. "Your surprise is really big, I was scared to death at the time. You are so bad, you can't hide anything from me in the future." Sonia punched David in the chest. The force was very light, it was completely flirtatious. David grabbed Sonia's hand, and the two looked at each other. No words, no communication, only eye contact. David slowly approached Sonia. Sonia wanted to hide, but did not move, her heart was very contradictory. Seeing that David was about to kiss, Sonia closed her eyes and waited for that moment to come. "You got something on your face." But just as Sonia was nervously waiting for that moment, David suddenly said such a sentence. Sonia opened her eyes and saw David looking at herself with a wicked smile. "Damn, I'm ignoring you." Sonia punched David fiercely and ran away blushing. At this time, Ruben watched his daughter run away with a blushing face, also smiled slightly, and walked towards David. "Mr. Chen, do you have any plans for your future? Do you want to start your own company?" Ruben asked David. David immediately shook his head. "I don't want to." David wants to cultivate now and improve his strength as soon as possible. As for starting a company and doing business, David really doesn't like it, nor is he good at it. Chapter 47. Seeing David shaking his head so happily, Ruben was stunned for a moment, but he quickly smiled and said, "That's okay, this girl Sonia doesn't look like a girl, but she is very good at running a company and doing business, just have her." Quote. After Ruben finished speaking, he left. David looked at Ruben's back and smiled helplessly. He could understand what Ruben thought. After all, he is only Sonia's daughter. In the future, all business will be handed over to Sonia. If he and Sonia really come together, such a large business will always need someone to support him. Soon, everyone was full and ready to leave, saying goodbye to each other. But at this moment, the door of the banquet was suddenly pushed open, and then dozens of people broke in, all of them holding weapons. Seeing these people who suddenly broke in, everyone present was shocked, but Ji Wenchen's face turned cold, and Tang Long, The bodyguard beside him rushed directly to his waist and pulled out a half-foot-long machete, guarding Ji Wenchen. In front of you. Security, where's the security? Seeing someone rushing in, Reuben shouted loudly, but no security guard came in. Mr. Su, don't shout, none of your security guards can get in. The visitor said coldly. Feng Sihai, you suddenly brought someone in, what do you want to do? You must know that this is a banquet prepared by the ancients. Reuben asked loudly. It turns out that these people are all members of the Chelong gang, and the leader is Feng Sihai. Feng Sihai walked quickly to Ji Wenchen, bowed and said, Ji, I don't mean to disturb, I just came to find Lin Tianyu. At this time, Lin Tianyu had already clenched his fists, and as soon as Feng Sihai entered the door, he knew he was here for him. Juitang and Chelong gang are mortal enemies, and the two are also deadly enemies, but for the time being, no one can do anything to the other. Usually, Lin Tianyu would bring many brothers to attend meetings, but this time around Ji Wenchen, Lin Tianyu was a little careless and didn't bring his subordinates. Another reason was that David was there, so Lin Tianyu was relieved. This Feng Sihai must have received the news, so he brought people here. As long as Lin Tianyu is killed, Juitang will be headless, and will soon be annexed by the Chelong gang. I don't care who you were looking for, but can you break into my banquet at will? Ji Wenchen asked with a cold face. Ancient, as I said, I was just looking for Lin Tianyu to settle accounts, and breaking in was a last resort. Feng Sihai said respectfully. Ba 5 tard. Ji Wenchen suddenly slapped the table, are you trying to go against me? Ancient, I don't want to fight against you, but I also don't want to let Lin Tianyu go. This kind of opportunity is a rare opportunity. Besides, for such an important banquet in ancient times, only Lin Tianyu was invited, but Feng Sihai was not invited. This is obviously because I don't like my Chelong. Help. Feng Sihai said, neither humble nor arrogant, obviously because Ji Wenchen didn't invite him. The reason why Ji Wenchen didn't invite Feng Sihai at that time was because the hatred between him and Lin Tianyu was too deep and it was not convenient to come here. Feng Sihai, are you? Ji Wenchen's face flushed with anger when he saw that Feng Sihai was not giving face. But before he could finish speaking, Lin Tianyu stood up and said, the husband does everything alone, and since you came after me, let's compare. After Lin Tianyu finished speaking, he immediately took a stance, ready to respond to Feng Sihai's attack at any time. There is a kind, then I will kill you today and take your Juitang into the bag. Feng Sihai said, striding towards Lin Tianyu. Chapter 48. Presumptuous. Ji Wenchen slapped the table fiercely, and his whole body was full of anger. Everyone present was frightened by Ji Wenchen's anger. Tang Long, who was beside Ji Wenchen, saw Ji Wenchen's anger. He jumped up and landed firmly in front of Lin Tianyu. Feng Sihai, don't give the old face, you are courting death. Tang Long burst out with a strong fighting spirit, and the bones on his body were crackling. Feng Sihai stopped attacking, frowned and looked at Tang Long. Tang Long, if you fight to the death today, you may not be able to beat me, not to mention that I still have dozens of subordinates. HMPH, whether you can win or not, you will only know if you try. Tang Long snorted coldly and took a stand. Ancient, I didn't want to be an enemy of you, but you keep pushing me, and I'm not easy to mess with the Chelong gang. It's a big deal, and no one here will want to go out alive. A cold glow flashed in Feng Sihai's eyes, and it seemed that he had already made desperate preparations. Ji Wenchen's face was flushed, and his whole body was trembling slightly by Feng Sihai's anger. No one in Horendal did not give him face, but today Feng Sihai has made him lose face. However, looking at the dozens of murderous subordinates behind Feng Sihai, Ji Wenchen was also a little embarrassed. Feng Sihai had come prepared, he was going to get into trouble, things were really not easy to handle. Ancient, let me and Feng Sihai make a break today, you all don't care. Lin Tianyu saw that Ji Wenchen was in a dilemma, and after speaking, he took the initiative to attack Feng Sihai. Lin Tianyu punched out, with a whistling sound, extremely fast, and his strength exploded to the extreme. He knew that fighting with Feng Sihai could not have the slightest reservation. When Feng Sihai saw that Lin Tianyu actually took the initiative to attack, his face suddenly sneered, he did not dodge or dodge, facing Lin Tianyu's punch. Bang! Lin Tianyu smashed Feng Sihai's chest with a punch, and a huge counterattack caused Lin Tianyu to step back 3 steps, but Feng Sihai didn't move at all, not even injured at all. Lin Tianyu's face was a little pale, and he looked at Feng Sihai in horror. At this time, Feng Sihai's strength has increased a lot. Ha ha ha, Lin Tianyu, your punches like tickling, don't stop, keep hitting. Feng Sihai raised his head and laughed loudly, not taking Lin Tianyu into his eyes at all. Lin Tianyu is also considered a hero, and he can't stand Feng Sihai's public humiliation and provocation. After shouting angrily, he walked towards Feng Sihai again, but this time Lin Tianyu grabbed a solid wood stool. Wow! The stool slammed into Feng Sihai's body, and instantly shattered, while Feng Sihai was still standing lightly, not moving. Lin Tianyu, my hard qigong has been completed, you can't hurt me, now it's my turn. After Feng Sihai finished speaking, he kicked at Lin Tianyu. Lin Tianyu couldn't dodge, and was kicked out by Feng Sihai. A mouthful of blood spurted out and fell to the ground. The severe pain made Lin Tianyu's face extremely hideous. Looking at Lin Tianyu's appearance, David frowned and was about to get up, but was stopped by Sonia. Don't be arrogant, this guy seems to be very good at fighting, you are not necessarily an opponent. Sonia is afraid that David can't beat Feng Sihai and is injured. She still doesn't know the relationship between David and Lin Tianyu. No matter how powerful Feng Sihai is, David will not sit idly by. Before David could do anything, Ji Wenchen said, Tang Long, teach him a lesson. Tang Long nodded, clenched his fists, and rushed directly to Feng Sihai. In the face of Tang Long's attack, Feng Sihai will not be so relaxed, and he will not dare to stand and let others hit him. You must know that Tang Long's punch, whether it is strength or speed, is stronger than Lin Tianyu, and has reached the extreme. Chapter 49. Feng Sihai turned sideways, dodging Tang Long's punch, and after dodging Tang Long, Feng Sihai did not take action, but looked at Ji Wenchen and said, Ji, I said that I don't want to be your enemy, do you want to force me? Ji Wenchen's face was gloomy and he didn't speak. And that Tang Long was so easily escaped by Feng Sihai, he suddenly felt that his face was completely lost, and he said angrily, stop talking nonsense, take the trick. Tang Long swung his fist backwards and threw it directly at Feng Sihai. If this punch hits, his brains will be thrown out. Feng Sihai's eyes narrowed, and his face was also angrily said, if that's the case, then I'm welcome. After finishing speaking, Feng Sihai, a catcher, grabbed Tang Long's wrist directly, and then swung it towards Tang Long with a left hook. Tang Long was startled, his head turned slightly to the side, and then kicked out, trying to force Feng Sihai back. But Feng Sihai didn't hide, and let Tang Long kick him in the chest. The huge anti-shock force made Tang Long's body directly fly out. Tang Long managed to stabilize his body, but looking at the surprised expressions of the people around him, he suddenly burst into anger. Feng Sihai, today must be divided between you and me. With that said, Tang Long charged towards Feng Sihai again. Stop! Just as Tang Long rushed towards Feng Sihai, a figure suddenly appeared in front of Tang Long and stopped Tang Long directly. You are not his opponent, and it is meaningless to fight, I will come. David stopped Tang Long and said. Tang Long felt a burst of humiliation, and said sternly, let's go, with your physique, I'm afraid that one punch will kill you. At this time, Tang Long had already lost his mind, and he even spoke rudely to David. He had forgotten the identity of David. That was an existence that even Ji Wenchen respected. However, Tang Long has not seen David's ability, so in his heart, he does not have much respect for David, just because of Ji Wenchen's face. The way of martial arts is gradually advancing. David is only a young man in his early 20s. Even if he learns martial arts from his mother's womb, how powerful can he be? Shut up, Ba Five Tard, you dare to be disrespectful to Mr. Chen. Ji Wenchen immediately reprimanded Tang Long when he saw that Tang Long had spoken unkindly to David. You must know that Ji Wenchen seldom taught Tang Long, and never regarded Tang Long as a servant, but today Tang Long actually said David, how could Ji Wenchen dare to let him have his temper? Tang Long closed his mouth, but he didn't have much respect for David in his eyes. What he was afraid of was Ji Wenchen, not David. At this time, Sonia also came up, pulled David and said, don't be rude, don't you see that even Lin Tianyu and Tang Long are not opponents? You are a medical student, don't follow me. Sonia thought that David only knew medical skills and nothing else. Today is such a suitable occasion, I should show it well, otherwise, how can I be a poor boy like you, the eldest daughter of gold? When Sonia heard this, her face suddenly became shy. This was the first time David said such a thing in public. Wouldn't that be the same as confessing to her? I don't care what you look like, I just don't let you take risks. Sonia took David's arm and prevented David from doing it. Hurry up and step back, your fists and feet have no eyes, it's not your time to be brave. Seeing that David came up to show himself, Tang Long said with a look of disdain. After speaking, Tang Long jumped up again and attacked Feng Sihai. Hey, it's said that you are not an opponent, but you are beaten up, you are really stubborn. David shook his head, helplessly. Stop talking, go back. Sonia pulled David to sit back again. Tang Long jumped up this time, but just as he moved forward, he was kicked on the chest by Feng Sihai, and blood overflowed from the corner of his mouth. Ji Wenchen and the people present watched this scene, each and everyone was shocked. Chapter 50. Tang Long's face was also hot. He could clearly feel that Feng Sihai didn't use all his strength, but as Ji Wenchen's personal bodyguard, and in front of so many people, Tang Long's face really had no place to rest. Now he would rather be beaten to death by Feng Sihai than admit defeat. You must know that people who practice martial arts regard their face as more important than their lives. If he admits defeat today, his reputation in the future of Tang Long will also stink. I am afraid that he will not want to mix in the circle in the future. Ji Wenchen will not be there either. Use him. Feng Sihai, use all your strength. I can die today, but I must not lose. After Tang Long finished speaking, his face became flushed, and his body began to slowly swell up. Storm Fist. Tang Long let out a loud shout, and his bulging body seemed to be deflated in an instant, and it recovered as before, but Tang Long's body rushed out like a cannonball. Feng Sihai frowned. It seems that you won't give up if you don't show the trick. Feng Sihai squatted slightly with his legs, and cracks appeared on the marble floor under his feet, but Feng Sihai's clothes rose automatically without wind. I fought with you. Tang Long's eyes began to turn a little scarlet, and he punched Feng Sihai fiercely. Bang! The huge sound, like thunder in the sky, made everyone cover their ears. Feng Sihai didn't move, he didn't even shake his figure, let alone injured. Tang Long was stunned for a moment, but then the rainstorm-like fist fell on Feng Sihai. Bang bang bang, it's almost there. Feng Sihai finished speaking and punched out. Bang! The two fists collided, and Tang Long's body flew out instantly, hitting the ground heavily, and he couldn't get up for a while. This time, everyone was dumbfounded, and Ji Wenchen also grew his mouth in shock. Lin Tianyu's body trembled slightly. He did not expect Feng Sihai's strength to be so strong. Lin Tianyu, who was trembling in his heart, secretly set his eyes on David. Now, I am afraid that only David can hold down that Feng Sihai. Tang Long, who fell to the ground, tried his best to get up, but he failed twice. Who did you learn your hard qigong from? Tang Long asked in shock. Yi Fengchen, do you know each other? Feng Sihai stood up straight and said. Hearing this name, Tang Long's face suddenly changed greatly, he looked very afraid, and Lin Tianyu's body was shaking like a sieve. Obviously this person, they both know each other, and they are amazing. However, the others did not respond, apparently unfamiliar with this name. Yi, who is Master Yi? Tang Long asked. That's my master, and I learned this hard qigong from him. As soon as Feng Sihai's voice fell, Tang Long suddenly looked depressed, sighed, and shook his head slightly. No wonder I'm not your opponent, it turns out that you have already apprenticed to Master Yi, I admit defeat. Tang Long actually conceded defeat. He, who is going to work hard, conceded defeat when he heard the words Yi Fengchen. David frowned slightly, looked at Lin Tianyu and said, who is this Yi Fengchen? Mr. Chen, Yi Fengchen is a master of ancient martial arts with very strong internal strength. No one knows his true strength. I heard that Master Yi is now able to pick leaves and hurt people. When Lin Tianyu talked about Yi Fengchen, his heart was still full of lingering fears. Pickling leaves hurts people. David smiled slightly. Is that so? David said, picked up a toothpick. flicked his fingers, and the toothpick instantly shot at Feng Sihai. Feng Sihai didn't have time to react at all. He was instantly hit by a toothpick on his arm, and only a small section of the whole toothpick was still exposed.
Please subscribe to follow the next more exciting chapters.